in our software factory, the second major building block is software architecture. And of course, this is something that humans still need to do because the agents, I would say they're able to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 90% of the job done. And technically, they are quite gifted, you might say. But they still make obvious mistakes at times or lean too far into the wrong pattern, overbuild, over-engineer quite often. And even when you implement, your MD files, both your rules and specific skills, you've got different maybe pre and post hooks that you're adding to your process flow. Even with all of that, you still find that there are mistakes that are made. The models continue to improve, but that's the state of play today, even after we've got now Opus 4.7 and, on the OpenAI side, 5.5, I believe, 4 or 5. So the models have come a long way, but we still need this. The approach to bringing AI to doing some of that work is to do adversarial code review. And so rather than have the same model do the review, for code reviews, use a different model. And so, of course, since so many folks are using Claude Code, OpenAI has come in with Codex and actually made that sort of a very easy to install skill that you can just bring in and have Codex do code reviews. So that's one approach, bringing in Codex. To save on costs, of course, you can use any open source model and plug that in to do this as well. And, we're having success with Kimi, with GLM, and plugging those in. A hacker tip, you can actually, in Claude Code, and you can look this up, there are fairly straightforward ways to flip Claude Code over to use those other open source models as the actual model within the code harness. And then, of course, open code and other open source harnesses can use any model as well. But whatever model you use to write the code, use a different one to do code review. That's one easy step to make. In terms of bringing humans in, and so we're still seeing tremendous value in seasoned software architects that have shipped software to production over the course of time. But how do you do that without burdening the human and making them the bottleneck in the workflow and really slow things down too much? So what we found is you have that human checkpoint, but you decide on a critical path through the system in terms of from a code review perspective. And then the human can both look at the code and actually ask AI. You kind of do an interactive session where you walk through that critical path rather than trying to look at hundreds of files that may have been produced. It's just too much to read. The same way that we no longer look at assembler or we don't look at lower level constructs. Instead, focus on a critical path, identify one, and verify that is the right approach is taken. Because oftentimes you'll find if there are problems there may be problems in other places in the code, and then you can kind of take a look and have the AI further review and correct those at the same time. So 2 approaches that we're taking in software architecture. As of right now, we're still finding that this is a core building block where humans do need to be involved, but just some ways to keep that controlled and not like a complete blocking step in your workflow.